everybody, welcome on into Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray, bringing you guys a live look at all types of things that are happening around our area. So I wanted to start off with just a quad box of some different things that are happening as we speak. So we've been keeping our eye on flooding in our area. We've also been keeping our eyes on the Philadelphia Eagles because tomorrow's another preseason game, but apparently they're getting things off and popping tonight. So you're also taking a look, if you look at the very bottom right corner of your screen, this Cooper Deene look-alike contest. What in the world is going on there? We'll check in with our team who's out there later on, and I'll just share with you if anybody has won. Does anybody here in Philly look like Cooper? But again, I want to make sure that we're keeping up to date on all things weather. Earlier today, there were so many weather alerts that have gone out to your phones. Hopefully you guys have turned on the free Fox Local app and turned on your push notifications, because then you would have been notified as soon as that tricky, severe weather was in your area. But I want to check in with our meteorologist, Kathy Orr, who's again been keeping her eyes on everything for us. Kathy, hoping you can join us right now and just share with us what you're seeing out there. What's going on?
Well, we're looking at a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, Judea, and right now it looks like nothing is severe, but we still have those flash flood warnings, and they're going to continue into the evening, and that will even continue into the late night hours. So on Ultimate Doppler, we are looking at showers, thunderstorms. They're widely scattered right now, and I can call this up for you. There you go. You have it up there. The severe weather threat continues, but right now we don't have anything in the way of severe. And if I take a zoom in, you can see across the region some of these storms blossoming, but as we lose the daytime heating, as the sun has set, it's going to make it more difficult for these to survive. There is one severe thunderstorm warning, and this is in Lancaster County. Now, that is not considered in our area. However, Chester County is, and that's its next door neighbor. So we're definitely going to watch this severe thunderstorm. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for Lancaster County until 8:30. And it looks like it's going to be moving toward the south and east. And that could be definitely moving toward parts of Chester County. So we'll keep a careful eye on that. In the meantime, that flash flood watch goes right through late tonight into early tomorrow. And if we go into the overnight, you can see some spotty showers expected, and then we start to clear it out during the overnight period. Now, you may be looking at this and saying, what is this a picture of? Well, Judea, this is a live feed from NASA. And right now, it's from the International Space Station looking at the Earth. And we are waiting for the the lunar eclipse to occur. 10:30 tonight, Eastern Daylight Time. If there are any breaks in the overcast, we are going to have an opportunity to see the moon being obscured by the Earth's shadow by about 96%. It's not a total lunar eclipse, but it's awfully close. So we can talk more about that after we get through the weather. We did see a lot of cloud to ground lightning, this taken from Brendan and in Bucks County, and only 20% of all the lightning that occurs is cloud to ground. And of course, that is the deadly, most dangerous form. So you always have to be aware that anytime thunder strikes, you have to get inside. During the day tomorrow, a scattered shower perhaps, maybe a thunderstorm down the shore, but do not cancel any outdoor activities. Just be weather aware. Highs will be in the 80s. And as we get deeper into the weekend, it's looking so much better, and that's the good news. After we get through these storms, we're going to be seeing just better conditions all the way around. If we break down tomorrow, hour by hour, you can see we start off in the 60s and 70s, and then we really rise quickly into the 80s, and mostly around Philadelphia and our suburbs, we will stay rain-free during the day. That's the good news. We have a front that's going to sweep through, so the best chance of any shower storm activity late would be down the shore. Let's talk about the weekend, because Saturday looks great, Sunday looks great, Monday it starts to heat up. Hot again Tuesday and Wednesday. We could have another heat wave and still a chance of a shower or storm as we go into Thursday. But look at these numbers, up and down, but we could make it to 90 degrees on Monday, the last day of the month. And if we do, then we could have ourselves heat wave number 8, which is really interesting because it has been a very active summer indeed, as we look across the region. And look at the summer which has really been something else. So I do want to show you one more thing before we leave. I want to take a look at our Barren map, and I'm going to switch that for us so I can bring this up. It is very interesting how we're going to be seeing this lunar eclipse, and we're going to watch at about 10:33 the full moon. This is the full sturgeon moon, is going to be totally full. The eclipse will begin at 10:33. By 11:15, when we're still broadcasting our 11 o'clock newscast, we'll see 50% of it blocked, and it will look like, you know, crescent moon. And then by 12:13, if you step outside, if you have any clearing in the overcast, which many locations will, you'll be able to see just a sliver of the moon. And then that moon starts increasing as it gets out of the Earth's shadow at 1:11 a.m. And by 1:52 a.m., if you're staying up late, we'll be back to full moon status. So it is an exciting night. We're going to be on the lookout in the Delaware Valley. And during our 10 o'clock news tonight, we'll be saying it's clear here, it's clear there, seeing where the storms have cleared. So we will indeed be able to see this, because nevertheless, it is going to be something that is not going to happen for a couple of years, and not to this degree where it's nearly a total lunar eclipse. So it's pretty exciting. Anytime anything celestial happens, I'm in.
You and me both. You know I love talking to you about this kind of stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, Kathy, I got a little nervous when all the severe weather was coming in. Like, even at my desk, it was raining so incredibly hard. I was kind of scared that we wouldn't be able to see the eclipse, but are you thinking maybe it'll be just fine?
It might be fine. Yeah, I mean, I can put the radar up again, and we can look where we can see some breaks in the clouds right now. I'll add on the satellite. But yeah, I mean, it all depends on how fast these move through. And we knew these weren't going to be as numerous tonight as they were earlier in the day. So you can see right now, it is pretty cloudy out there, but you know, we have to give it a couple hours. I mean, even by midnight, Judea, if that clearing that's west of Harrisburg moves in, or you can see there is definitely more clearing in Cape May County, in Atlantic County. So just step outside and obviously get away from the lights around your home. But listen, you don't need a telescope, you don't need special glasses like solar eclipses. All you have to do is be able to see the moon. And many people might be able to see it somewhere in that window between 10:30 and 2 a.m. Also, we will have a feed of that on our newscast at 10 and 11 o'clock. If you're watching, you'll be able to see it live with us, and we'll share that with you on the air. And that will be a live feed of it actually happening. NASA has a feed of that. So it's exciting, you know?
Cool. Yeah, it is. That is incredible. I'm really happy that our team was able to make that happen. So anybody who can't go outside, or, you know, it is a little cloudier in their area, they'll still get a glimpse of it. Kathy, as always, thank you for catching us up to date with what we need to know with our forecast, and also getting us excited about another celestial event, exhibit, if you will. I always appreciate your expertise weighing in here on Philadelphia Live.
Thanks, Judea.
No problem. I want you guys to come back into the studio here in Philadelphia with me. Another big event that we are keeping our eyes on, again, flooding, as we've been telling you about, has been horrible. So I want to show you some user-generated content. This is a viewer from Fox 29 who wanted to share with us just how bad the flooding was in their area. As you can see, they were right outside the SEPTA station at Lansdale, and cars are fighting for their lives just trying to get through all of that high water. We recommend that you guys don't do this. Please, if you can, just stay home. If you're already out and about and you know the water is tricky, ask the person that you're with, hey, can I stay with you in your area? Whatever you have to do to be safe, we want you to do that. I want to bring in another one of our reporters who's been keeping up to date with all the things that have to do with the weather. Our Shawnette Wilson is out and about live on the grounds. Shawnette, I know you've been driving around quite a bit just trying to keep up to date with these storms in our area. Can you just tell me where you found yourself?
So we crossed over the bridge, Judea, into South Jersey today, and we've kind of, as you mentioned, just been making the rounds from, we've been in Harrison Township, but from Mullica Hills to Glassboro, like we've kind of just been driving around. That's how we started the day, looking for damage, because by the time, we left the station earlier today, the rainfall had pretty much stopped. And so we were looking at, what are neighbors doing? What are residents doing right now? Because there were certainly reports of like damage left behind after this storm came through. So right now we are hunkered down right here at 322 in Aura Road here. And this is just like, it's kind of like a business little area here. It's just outside the Wawa, and you can see that even like some trees are down here, like some tree branches, tree limbs are down here, just at the side of the road here, again, along 322 and Aura Road. So this is kind of like what we've been seeing all day. You'll see a lot of debris, as we're going around through the area, but I'm going to show you some video of, an area that we stumbled upon earlier. I want to say that it's Ewan Road at Richwood Road. So this is in Mullica Hill in Harrison Township again, which initially we had seen police post something on their Facebook page about roads that were blocked, and we came up on a road that was in fact blocked. Residents were telling us that, there was a lightning strike that had hit a tree and took down some cables and power lines. There was another resident we know who came home from work, and a tree was down in his front yard, and we were hearing just the sound of him trying to cut up the wood so he can get that out of the way. So there was a lot of debris and kind of storm damage left over on this particular road. I did talk to two people who live along that road, and let's go ahead and listen to them describe like the height of the storm.
It was coming down sideways. These trees here were sideways. A little when the rain slowed down, we had a lightning strike. It blew that tree apart and took out the power line.
Yeah, transformer went.
And then
Blew out
there was
everything.
another line down there at the end of the road there. And I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup.
All right, so there you heard the words cleanup. That's what people are doing. This is more video that we're showing you right now, also along 322 earlier today, with cars just trying to drive through roads that were flooding, which you mentioned, earlier that this is, never what people should do. But we know that there are certainly times when, storms like this will sneak up on people, and they are left with no choice but to either keep moving or pull over. So anyway, back here live, the residents that I spoke to earlier, Judea, also told me that, they lost power for about 2 hours. They said the power company came out and got it back up and running, so they are not in the dark tonight. But it was also, what we see when there are weather events like this, whether it is like a storm, a tornado, or even snow, we see many communities come together. Neighbors will come out and try to help each other out to get the cleanup done. And in that neighborhood where we were today, that's exactly what was happening. The guy that was like getting rid of the tree on his front lawn was saying, like, I just got home from work and I'm cleaning up my front yard, but I'm going to head across the street and help my neighbors with their tree, and down the street and help the other neighbors. So, they're all just glad that, there wasn't an issue with, let's say, property damage, and definitely, like no one in their neighborhood was hurt during all of this.
It's good to hear that as well. And the other thing that I have to say, Shawnette, that I find interesting, it's always when we see people helping out their neighbors or just one another, because usually when it comes time for severe weather and there is damage in the area, sometimes we have to wait for like the city to come out or the county to come out, or sometimes if it's bad enough, FEMA. But just to hear a guy say, well, yeah, I'm already out here doing what I need to do for my lawn, why not see if the next person needs a little help too? It's kind of nice to hear.
And also like to save people some money, right?
Right.
I mean, some people, aren't able, like he mentioned, I feel like he was mentioning that he had neighbors who were also older, who frequently need help. And, you get into situations, not to go to the negative, but this is a real deal. You will get people coming around saying they're going to clean up, and you don't know, whether this is legit or what they're charging. So to have your neighbor, give you a head start and get some of this done before you have to, let's say, call someone to do the work for you is a blessing. That's, sign that you got good neighbors.
Amen. And I think a lot of people right about now are just thinking themselves that they move next to the person that they move next to. Shawnette, again, thank you for giving us a look at where you are now. Do you mind just telling the audience where you've been today? Because again, I just want to acknowledge, first of all, you've been out and about for quite some time. We've been taking
Okay.
a look at some video and stuff in-house, but where have you been through already?
So we, like I said, we left Philly, crossed over the bridge into South Jersey, and we came directly to Harrison Township because, we had gotten reports from, emergency crews posting on like their Facebook pages, like alerts, to residents, avoid this area if you can, this road is closed. So that's what led us to Harrison Township, because we saw a post saying that, they had damage. So Mullica Hill is in Harrison Township. So we were pretty much roaming around Mullica Hill today for the most part. Like I said, we touched on in Glassboro a little bit. And then this is a team effort, right, Judea? Like,
Right.
my shift, and I'm with photographer Martin Ryman. We work the night shift, so we come in somewhere between 2:30 and 3:30. And as we're on our way in, the storm had already started, and so one of the dayside photographers, Tina Hogate, got a jump start on this, and already had headed out to Mullica Hill to get like video of flooded out roads and people driving in it. That video was hers. So it's a team effort. She got out there because when we come in sometimes, the weather has moved out of the way, which is what happened. And then our night story becomes, what are people left with, to clean up tonight and then honestly probably into the morning.
You are absolutely correct. Again, thank you for showing us what's going on out there, just so people know where to avoid and how to stay safe and all that good stuff. It's exactly the kind of thing that we're trying to do here on Philadelphia Live. So I'm gonna let you get back to reporting, because I know you got to get ready for the 10 o'clock news. And for those of you guys who are streaming with me, we're gonna come back on in here to the studio. There are so many things happening around town, like in some of the areas that aren't experiencing so much trickiness when it comes to the weather. I just want to show you different events that are happening as we speak. So first and foremost, I kind of teased it at the top of the show. There's a Cooper DeJean look-alike contest. When I saw the flyers out around the streets, first of all, let's bring you out there, because like it's happening right now. When I saw the flyers posted on the streets as he just gets his boogie on, I didn't think that it was real. But yeah, I guess these guys here, maybe these ladies too, I don't know, think that they look like Cooper DeJean, the football player from the Philadelphia Eagles. So they decided to take part in a competition where, they're up against some heavy hitters, as you guys can clearly see. The big question here again is who looks like the player, because if you win, you got a chance at Eagles tickets, gift cards, and a whole lot more. And then just anybody who decided to come out was able to get a raffle ticket for additional prizes. They also say there's giveaways. This is just awesome. Now, you did have to pay $5 to come on in. This benefits the Eagles Autism Foundation. As you guys know, the team is very, very serious about that cause. And so again, this event also goes forward to pay it forward for them. This all, of course, is ahead of the preseason game tomorrow against the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, everybody's having a good time. Started at 5 o'clock. It'll go on until 9 o'clock. You just had to be registered by 7 or in the building. The judging was supposed to start at 7:30, and it kind of looks like we just saw the end of it wrap up. This is at Liberty Grounds, which is a really fun spot, you guys. We'll check back in with our team a little later on just to see what's going on there. I see this is a little funky on the screen right here. Hold on, we're gonna take me full. All right, for some reason, I'm seeing myself twice. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break and get you caught up on everything that you need to know around our area. We are going to be right back, you guys. Don't go anywhere. So much more news coming your way. Hey guys, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. Again, I told you I got a lot of news coming your way. Before we get into it, I want to remind you all that Philadelphia Live is not your average newscast. It's actually extremely different. So for one, we're streaming not only on an app, the Free Fox Local app, but we're also on a couple of different social media platforms. So I've got my phone out because I'm keeping up to date with your comments. We are on TikTok right now. A lot of comments coming in. I just want to give a quick shout out to, wait. Keys Edit said, who's watching the news on TikTok? Well, first of all, you and a whole lot more people. Our numbers are only going up, so welcome on in, you guys. Just keep us up to date on anything that you want to know about, whether that's something to do with your weather forecast, or if you want us to keep you up to date on some of your biggest headlines of the day. Some of those are coming your way, but stay tuned because, again, we've got a lot more coming to you. 32-Bit Panda was talking about the weather forecast and these emergency alerts that you can get. Again, talking about how it's important to keep those alerts on. So thank you for joining us on TikTok. We're also on Instagram, you guys. Some comments coming on over there. We've got a couple of people. Dolores, hello, welcome on in to you. David McGonough, welcome to you too. Oh, says just watching from South Carolina. So we've got some people from a couple of different places. Another person saying good Thursday evening, everyone. Again, welcome on in. Continue to leave comments, you guys. I would also encourage you to leave questions because there are going to be some topics that I bring up that maybe we aren't all caught up on, maybe we don't know everything about, and I'm here to answer any of those questions for you or get them out to someone who definitely can. So I want to start with an update on a story about this masked guy from Philadelphia area. They say was terrorizing people in Center City. We heard recently that not only was he caught all the way out in Las Vegas, they say that he went on the run and they caught him out there, but he had his first day in court. And so during which I believe he waived his extradition. He has 30 days to make his way back to Pennsylvania. If he doesn't, worse problems are coming his way. His name is Zamir Hughes, 22 years old. Again, was arrested Tuesday afternoon out near Boulder Highway by the U.S. Marshals. You know the crime that you're accused of has to be serious if the Marshals go after you. He was wanted by the Philadelphia Police Department, had an active warrant for aggravated assault for something else. Authorities accused him of terrorizing basically innocent citizens. We saw a video of him allegedly chasing after a jogger really early in the morning, like around 5 a.m. So again, to hear that they not only have found this guy, they arrested him, and now he's supposed to be making his way back. It's just been a really interesting and curious case. Say he fled Philly on August 19th and was able to fly. He made his way from New Jersey to Orlando before he eventually landed in Las Vegas, Nevada. But didn't stay out there for too long before the officials did find him. So again, he's going to have to make his way back within the next 30 days to Pennsylvania to face those charges here. But for now, he's being held at a detention center in Las Vegas. Another story that I want to get you guys up to date on, maybe you've heard a little about this officer who was killed. He was not working on the clock, was actually out and about at an event of some sorts. They say that it was a speakeasy called Nipsey's. It's a hookah lounge located on Elmwood Avenue. Now, they say that he was killed on August 16th, just before 4 a.m. when someone opened fire right outside of this establishment. His name is Officer El Hassan Berry, but again, he wasn't working in the capacity of an officer when this happened. Now, officials say they believe that they've got the guy, the shooter who did this. Found it interesting, though, that during a press conference with the district attorney, he didn't refer to him as a suspect. He just kept saying shooter. I want to let you guys listen in to a little bit of what he had to say. He explains all of what they think they have so far, what he's told them, what they think they have on the case. So go ahead and take a listen.
Working closely with PPD, we believe that we do have the gun that was used in the incident. I said believe because that is not verified yet. We also believe that the shooter was properly identified, and the shooter has come in to explain his version of what occurred and has given an explanation to the Philadelphia Police, but also to Jeff Hajnowski, who is the chief of our homicide unit who sat in on that meeting. The shooter does not dispute that he had the gun, which he provided through his counsel, he does not dispute that he fired the gun. He has described, and I will not get into the specifics, his version of what happened at that time, some of which requires additional investigation and some of which does not.
All right, in addition to that, again, what I found interesting was what they talked about in terms of the shooter was very limited. They do say that they've probably got about another 2 months before this will really get off. But what, again, I found interesting, the district attorney then turned his attention to that place that this happened at, that venue. Again, it goes by the name of Nipsey's Hookah Lounge, which is a speakeasy. He says it's an illegal establishment that illegally, he believes, sells alcohol there. And so he says that that should be the next, I guess, big concern for them. So they're going to look into that. What he found interesting was that on the outside, this doesn't look like much of anything, like a hole in the wall. If you were to walk past it, you would never know that all of this is on the inside. He vowed to shut this place down, and he says he hopes that it serves as a warning for any other illegal establishment. He says, you don't belong in the city of Philadelphia. So just getting you guys caught up on what's happening there. I also wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about the curious case of Lindsay Clancy. She's the mother in Massachusetts accused of murdering her 3 children. Now, I've talked to you guys about this time and time before. While those are accusations, she hasn't denied it. She's actually said that, yes, I carried out these killings. She says, however, that she was suffering from something called postpartum psychosis. So in other words, she says that she was having such a mental health break that she was actually hearing voices that were telling her to go ahead and kill her children. Not that she wanted to, but that she felt she had to. She says that she also then tried to take her own life. Now, we've heard from attorneys on both sides of the aisle arguing for this and against it. People who are against it suggest that yes, maybe she suffers from depression, like a severe depression, maybe even a little bit of anxiety. They say for sure she's been diagnosed with bipolar 2. The thing that they don't believe she really has is this psychosis. They say that this is just an excuse for some of the things that she has done here. And so they believe that she should spend some time in prison. So I want to let you all know that the jury was actually set to deliberate, and they began for about 3.5 hours today. At that point in time, the judge actually told them that they could go home. I want to let you guys listen in also to what they had to say there. Go ahead and take a listen.
I wanted to bring you in. It's been a long day for everyone. And so what I'm going to do is excuse all of you till tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. I just want to, as you can imagine, want to reiterate those instructions. Now you are either deliberating jurors or alternates possibly to deliberate. So I can't stress it even more than I have for the last 5 weeks. Don't read anything about this case. Don't talk about this case with anyone, even at home. Don't listen to anything. Just put this out of your head. Come back here tomorrow morning. We'll start at 9 o'clock. What'll happen is we'll have you come in. I'll bring you in. I'll ask you those questions. I'll just turn you right around and have you back deliberating. All right? And so with that, with my thanks to everyone, excuse you till tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Court, all rise.
All right, and so from there, again, as he said, they'll be back early tomorrow morning to try to figure out if they can come to a general consensus of what happened here and deliver a verdict in this case. Now, I just want to walk through the sentencing with you real quick. We got about a couple of minutes with each other. If she is accused or convicted, I should say, of first-degree murder, she could face a mandatory life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole. On the lightest end, if they say that she's not guilty of anything at all, she could be acquitted. Now, they say that this is a very, very, very rare case because she has already admitted to carrying out the killings. So more than likely, the lightest sentencing that she could get, if it's not guilty by reason of lack of criminal responsibility or reason of insanity, then they could commit her to a state psychiatric hospital. That'll happen in Massachusetts, and then of course somebody will continue to look over her. So just a little look at some of the biggest news that's happening around our area. Again, you're probably going to hear about this story quite a bit, especially tomorrow if the jury does come back with some sort of conviction or verdict in her case. So that's a little bit what's happening there, you guys. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, though, another story you probably haven't heard a lot about: flat cameras. I mean, like trending on Google. Almost every city is talking about whether they want them there. A lot of people feel very emboldened to share their opinions on them. But before you form your opinion, or to help you guys, I just want to bring in an expert, a cybersecurity expert, who can just talk to us a little bit more about what Flock is all about. And then this whole other system that's out there as well called Axon. It's like a couple of cities that are saying that they want to move that way. So what's the difference between the two? What do you need to know? We'll get into it again with that expert when we come back. Hey guys, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. I mentioned this whole flock camera debacle debate that's been just about everywhere. It's trending right now on Google, and it has been for like the last couple of weeks, where people are just, weighing in. How do they feel about public surveillance in their area? I think a lot of people might be against it, but there are also some pros to having these kinds of systems. But to just walk us through everything that's going on here, and then how another public surveillance system may take over in some cities, I want to bring in a cybersecurity expert. His name is Harry Moggins. We know him and love him here on this show, but I hope you guys enjoy our conversation as well. Harry, welcome on into Philadelphia Live.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, I always have to have you when we're talking about something technical. Is the way you break it down is really helpful. So we've talked about flock cameras before, but for anyone who's just never heard of the whole situation, can you break it down? What is a flock camera?
Sure. If you haven't heard of them, I kind of envy you at this point. It's become a very big story in the sense that it's the license plate readers, the ALPRs, you've seen on the back of or attached to police cars for a while, and repo cars use them. Technology's old, but recently this company called Flock has emerged, which are the black poles and the nondescript black cameras on every corner. And they're starting to connect a lot of these technologies together. So now you have this persistent filming, the surveillance of whole cities or counties that's being stitched and weaved together into a central command where you're able to do high, AI-driven searches, very, very powerful and real-time views of pretty much every car driving around your area. So the question, the reason it's become more prominent in the news recently is not the fact that it can scan the license plate on the car. The issue is, where does the personal privacy and liberties start and stop from a public picture on the road to who's in the car and where they go as part of their day-to-day life.
I mean, that is exactly where I want to keep this conversation. I want to point out that I think in the beginning, the whole thought of this flock system, the surveillance, seemed helpful. Police officers are saying it would help them crack some cases. For example, I've brought up Amber Alerts before. Very quickly, you can, figure out where this vehicle has been, where it's going, and then you may be able to catch perpetrator. However, as you just mentioned, they also find out a lot more about you, and apparently it saves it somewhere in a database. So can you just talk a little bit about the different things that a flock camera in particular can learn about you?
A lot. So you're right, it does actually solve crime. I mean, there's a positive side, and I, believe it or not, support the concept somewhat superficially. They are finding Amber Alert cars. They're finding hit and run drivers. They're finding people who are fleeing and have outstanding warrants for them. There are a lot of positive uses. The difference, again, is in all 50 states, the license plate in your car is public. If they're just using it for that purpose alone, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. The risk is when they take that and they create this dossier of your life. They know from connecting all the different pieces and points they have, they know what driveway your car's sitting on overnight. They know what medical or doctor's office you're going to, what clinic you're visiting. They know what church you go to. If you come from a political rally, they see all this data that's becoming no longer a picture of your car or your license plate, but it's becoming this timeline of your life. And then now they have something called, it was Nightshade, and then it was Nova, Flock Nova. Now it's called OS Investigate. They keep renaming it. It's a technology where they're actually buying data from data brokers, buying and selling people's information across America. And Flock is purchasing that data to append it to the license plate and driver information they get from police departments to suddenly have a more comprehensive profile of the individual and deeper search capabilities, which suddenly goes from the numbers in the back of your license plate to your family, your friends, your hobbies, your gender, your religious beliefs, sexual orientation, immigration status in some cases. A whole wide range of data just gets dumped on an officer doing these searches simply by Flock purchasing it from data brokers.
This might seem like a simple question to you, but with any kind of technology, I mean, we see when we use AI, ChatGPT, you might type something in and hoping that you're going to get an answer, but you got to look like really closely at the answer it spits back out because it might not be perfectly accurate. And so then I wonder, with a camera system like this, is it possible if officials are trying to use it to crack and solve crime, could it point them in the direction of the wrong suspect or wrong person?
Yeah, Judea, you nailed it. It's like when AI first came out, everybody took it as fact. They just trusted it blindly. And then hallucinations started happening and people said, uh-oh, I made some mistakes. And you have that famous story where Google's Gemini AI told people to put glue on pizza because it just blindly came through. That was probably about a year ago now. The same thing with Flock cameras, right?
Surprised.
It's a tool. Yeah, it's a tool in the arsenal of a police department, but it's not perfect, right? They claim a 97% OCR accuracy. That's optical character recognition. That's essentially the camera's ability to decipher the letters and numbers of a license plate. Problem is, that's in good conditions, right? If a car is going fast, if it's raining or foggy, if there's other cars in the way or just any kind of imperfect conditions, that percentage goes way down. And actually, LAPD canceled their Flock subscription a little while back. One of the reasons they cited was inaccuracy of the license plate letter or character recognition. So there's a lot of fuzziness there. And what you end up seeing in this case is when an officer takes it as absolute fact, they see a car, they pull it over, sometimes at gunpoint, and arrest the driver, essentially switching the innocent until proven guilty to guilty until proven innocent. And it's just like when tasers came out or any other tool in a police department. We need to double down on training. We need to have more awareness and guardrails. We need to solidify it, like AI, you said, what is a hint or a suggestion or a help versus what is definitive fact. And that's where we are today.
Well, again, thank you for breaking that down for us and helping us make a little bit more sense. Again, if anybody has never heard of flock before, I'm also pretty jealous because I hear about it every single day, but I love these conversations. And I also just want to point out that whenever we point out any of the cons, we're also going to follow up with pros. I'm not here to tell you what you should or should not do here or what you should or should not trust. I just want to share the facts with you guys. You make your own decisions. So, Harry, I've also seen lately in the headlines that some cities are trying to opt out of using flock, and some cities, counties, towns are saying they want to use something else instead, another system, surveillance system called Axon. Do you know a little bit about that one as well?
It is. Axon started out originally with tasers and the police camera, the body cams they had. They've recently expanded their product lineup, and now they're getting into the ALPRs, and they're getting into even, I think, drones, some of the newer flock technologies too. So I'm seeing a convergence in the market. Any kind of police surveillance technology, they're realizing there's a lot of money here, and since flock's kind of become the poster child at this point of mass surveillance, for better or worse, they're almost becoming like a Kleenex name or a Xerox, where people are using the name in a more generic sense. I think the fight here is not just against flock. It also includes Axon and other ones who are trying to encroach on that violation of privacy, almost using the deflock statement or the deflock movement as a broader base for mass surveillance.
Harry, I have to jump in here. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm hearing that we've gotten some breaking news in terms of weather. So we're going to have to go ahead and take a commercial break. Don't go anywhere just in case we have time to come back to you. But for those of you guys who are streaming along with us, again, new information is coming my way. I've got to touch base with our executive producer and see what's going on. I'll try to bring you guys the latest in just a second, so you guys don't go anywhere, all right? All right, you guys, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I just talked to our executive producer. We're hearing of severe weather very close nearby. It's possible that it could come into our viewing area, so we're keeping up to date with our meteorologists. And just to give you a heads up, if that begins, we're going to go straight there. We're going to figure out and get up to date on everything you guys need to know. Again, we're hearing there's may be severe weather in our area pretty soon. But I do have a couple of minutes to get back into things with Harry Moggins. We were having a conversation about flock cameras and Axon surveillance systems, how they may be the same, how they may differ. Harry, I cut you off in the middle of your sentence. If you remember where you were at, I just want to encourage you to start again.
Sure. So I think Flock's become the poster child of kind of the deflock movement we're seeing a lot. And deflock.org is a big community-sourced map that has a lot of where the people going around their own streets in their own cities and states have actually mapped out over 122,000 of these flock cameras. Deflock.com is showing how data brokers are connected to the flock ecosystem and explaining a little bit more about how this surveillance works and how it operates at scale. But ultimately, Flock is just, again, the one that's the most talked about right now. Axon and some of the other ones, Motorola has a big play in this more intelligent camera ecosystem. All of it comes down to the same thing, and people are really making their opinions known that, we don't want to wake up in an Orwellian state like in 1984. We want to make sure that we're actually being vigilant here. We're not becoming numb to the invasion of privacy, and we're fighting back because we never signed up for this.
Well, that's fair. I know a lot of people do feel that way on social media as well. Another question that I have for you, and it's a big one, especially based on what you just told us. A lot of people are wondering whether or not they're actually able to opt out. If you participate in public life, are you just in it until your city decides not to use either of these systems?
You can sort of. So you
Okay.
can't opt out of the license plate reader. And the problem with Flock being a private company, they are not subject to the Freedom of Information Act. Or you can't send a FOIA request to Flock and see what kind of search has been done on your car. So the vehicle itself cannot opt out. What you can opt out is the person. By deleting yourself from data brokers, which is what we do at Privacy Beat, when Flock tries to pull the data from the data broker to append to your car to create this full profile on you for searching, for expanding to family and friends, all that, they won't have any data to return. So then suddenly all Flock's left with is what they can see with the camera, the car, bumper sticker, and anything that's tied to the plate the police department has. So it limits the scale, but you cannot fully opt out. And the only exceptions to that are, there's a very, very narrow window of Flock cameras that are, I think, HOA controlled or some private businesses where you can. But again, that's a very, very small percentage of them.
Got you. And with just a few seconds left, can you also explain how long our information can be kept in these databases? I know it might be different for every company, but do you know roundabouts how long?
So usually it's a month or two. There's a lot of news recently saying they decreased to 7 days. That is the default. A lot of departments see that default value, say, great, and then they turn the knob and crank it back up to 30 or 60 days. So it does vary by jurisdiction. Ultimately, the license holder has that control.
All right. Well, again, thank you for sharing with us what's going on with the flock cameras. I wanted to bring up Axon because there's actually an area near us, Abington Township. They're having a vote tonight whether or not they should go away with their system here. I'm hearing more about our weather forecast. If you can hear that coming through my microphone. So anyway, it is something big happening locally. So I just wanted to touch base with someone who could help us make sense of it all. Harry, as always, I appreciate having you on here. I'm going to let you go, get right back into control of some things that are happening in our area. You guys, good conversation. I love talking about that kind of stuff. We're going to go ahead and take another commercial break. When we come back, if there's no severe weather near us, we'll be touching base with another big event that is happening. So I want to take you on out to the link, because tomorrow that's where it's going down. We know the Philadelphia Eagles will be playing the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a preseason game, and it's going to be huge. If you're looking for some plans beforehand and you are a woman, I got something right up your alley. We'll check it out when we come back. All right, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. What's Philly talking about? Well, today and tomorrow, it's all about the Philadelphia Eagles. You're taking a live look at Lincoln Financial because tomorrow the Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. And I don't know if you're new to this, like I'm new to this, but apparently when it comes time for preseason, our fans don't play around, like at all. And so it's going to be a huge crowd out there. I'm telling you right now, if you don't have plans, maybe go ahead and look to see if you can get a ticket. Again, that's going to be a hot button event item to get on out to. But beforehand, there's a way that you guys can pregame, especially if you're a woman. I want to bring in somebody from Sports Shawties to talk to us a little bit about an exciting event that's coming on up for you to enjoy some of your favorite players. Bringing in Amaya, again, the CEO of Sports Shawties, to talk to us about it. Amaya, welcome on into Philadelphia Live.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So tomorrow, talk to me. What have you guys got planned for us?
Just know that we're going to be outside and having fun before this game.
I know that's right. Okay, but like, get into it a little bit more. What can we expect if we decide to come on out?
Yes, so we do background. I created Sports Shorties actually 2 years ago because I wanted to create a space for women that love sports but wanted to find new friends and find community. And I am a big football fan. You'll see me at almost every home game tailgating. And this Friday, I wanted to just pregame for the preseason and go down to the tailgate. We're going to have lots of people down there. We're going to have guys on the grill. We're going to just have a good time with the fellow women and just fellowship and just get ready for the excitement, even if it's just a preseason game.
So I heard you say there, you said men and women, even though this is like a ladies friendly event, a little bit of anybody can come.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
But I particularly bring together the women, but everybody's going to be down there. If you ever been to a tailgate, there could be more of us down there. And so I just want people that, especially women who love the game, but maybe feel intimidated to be in the spaces that are usually male dominated, that we have a big group going down there almost every home game, and we go down together and we have a good time.
And so I'm just curious, you said almost every home game you guys are down there. So just getting into it, how often you guys do this, like once the season starts back up fully, you're going to be there all the time?
Yes, we're definitely going to be there. Home opener, September 13th. We're always in the same spot, Lot H, right in front of Xfinity Mobile. And people should follow us to see exactly where we're going to be at. But we are excited, and we just always come together before the game and just find other women who wants to be part of this. They should also join us. And then even men, I had a guy reach out that he wanted to bring his daughter. Yes, bring your daughter, bring your wife, bring your sister. But we're around is making sure women have a safe space to even learn sports. You may not even need to know football. You can go be a sports person. You can hang with us. I promise you're going to have a good time.
I love that so much. That's so cute. Again, we've been showing everybody the flyer and some of the pictures that you guys have had from previous events. Just talk to me a little bit about tickets. We were just showing the website. I assume we need them. How much?
So for this one, this is a preseason game. This one is free to attend. And we have, so come up, it's BYOB, just follow the laws, follow the rules. But whenever the season starts, we do have guys on the grill. That's what they're good for. They can throw down on the grill.
Amen.
We just kick back and enjoy. And there will be people on the grill this week too. But this one is free, so you come find us in Lot H tomorrow.
Okay, Lot H next to Xfinity Mobile Arena. 4 o'clock is when people should head down there. And you mentioned the guy's going to be on the grill. I've been told by other people that apparently I like to chew. They say that's one of my hobbies. So I'm all in.
Well, that's a good way to say like to chew. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing with us a little bit of what's going on. Again, anytime the girlies can get together and have a good time, it is like great. I'm learning so much about being here in Philadelphia. A lot of our audience, they know this already. I'm new. I've been in here for about 6 months, and I have never seen a sports town like this one. It is just unmatched.
Oh no. It's actually Philadelphia was just ranked one of the best sports towns in the world, and I've
I
seen
saw
that.
that. I
And
saw that. And it's
yes,
true. And here's a perfect example.
yes, just it's a good place to meet other friends, meet people. But like I said, I sports Shorties, we are really around finding other women that wants to be around women, and we do a good job at that. Especially if you like sports, want to learn about sports, or even just looking for a community. We are here.
I love it. You guys, again, it's going down at near Xfinity Mobile Arena. Tomorrow night, the big game gets underway at around 8, but you can still go out and have a good time beforehand, 4 to 7:30 with the Sports Shawties. And as she said, you don't just have to be a woman to go and have a good time. Of course, this caters to the women, but for
Yeah.
fellas with some daughters, or, you know, I don't know, maybe a guy's over there trying to find his wife. Who
Yeah.
knows? Come on
Or
and
if
have
a
a good
woman want
time.
to escape their husband, he's like, hey, I want to get away from him.
I
We're in
love
safe space.
it. Amaya, thanks for joining us here on Philadelphia Live.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, while that's going on, I want to share with you guys a couple of other things that are happening in our area, because we are getting ready for the 10 o'clock news. We're coming up on 9 o'clock, and keep in mind, we have been keeping our eyes on weather. That has been our #1 story for sure. So I want to take you back out to some flooding and some damage that Shawnette Wilson, one of our reporters, was able to show you guys. Again, she has been chasing severe weather in our area, as well as our meteorologists. If we hear anything crazy that you need to know about, I'm trying to tell you right now, don't go anywhere. Stick with us here on the Free Fox Local app, or if you're joining us on social media, because we are streaming on TikTok and on Instagram and YouTube as well. Just stay with us here. We have a 24/7 stream, especially on YouTube. So our meteorologists will be able to get you the latest of news, where you need it, when you need it. Now, I want to share with you guys something else that I saw happening. If you guys are interested in any of the national news, today was Caroline Leavitt's last day at the White House. Remember, she just had her baby. She's now a mother